Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I want to take a moment to thank you for your likes, for your shares, for your subscribes, for helping me to grow my channel by connecting with me, by leaving comments. I'm coming up with my 1-year anniversary. It's on Thursday, and I have over 1,700 subscribers, and I couldn't do that without you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you are subscribed, be sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I go. When I upload a video or I go live, which, by the way, I'm going to do as a celebration on Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in the United States. I'm going to go live. I'll take questions and answers. I'm going to do a little bit of for each of the signs first. I'm going to run through and do a little bit on the divine masculine and divine feminine. That energy is so strong right now, and so I'll kind of take a peek at that, and then I'll take questions and answers. If you don't think you're going to make it to the live, go ahead and leave me a comment below with your question, and I will try to answer as many questions as possible until I run out of energy. That's how I'm going to roll with that. So we might be up all night. So I hope I see you there. Be sure to check in. So this week's going to be really simple. I'm just covering the week. There's a lot of need to be doing a lot of discerning and choosing our path this week. And there's a lot of drawing within that. That Scorpio energy is all about going within and figuring out what it is that you want to do. And with Mercury in retrograde now, things are going to start. Lots of ground, lots of things being stirred up, lots of things happening and thoughts. And I just kind of wanted to keep it simple. And apparently it has to do with your stability, what you want in regards to a family situation. It is happening this week. It's actually your career sector, your public persona, and in that dreamy spiritual house of Neptune in Pisces there. But with this card showing up, I wonder how much it is what you're doing at work is in opposition to what you're trying to accomplish at home, and how are you going to bring that all back into balance. But let's get into the cards, and we'll see what we see, where it is that you're headed with all this. And so if you'll recall, on Sunday, the moon was in Aquarius, and it is in Aquarius Monday and most of Tuesday until 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in the U.S., and it is all about that creative problem solving. It is about assessing a situation. Where is it that you're going? What is it that you want to do? How adaptable are you? And discerning what it is you really want. And so this time of drawing in and really pulling your energy in to try to figure out what it is you want, that is really what's going on this week. And so don't be surprised when you feel that. I feel like there's more. Hold on. Okay. All right. What do we have here? Well, this was the first one that flew out. It says, spring, see your seeds grow. So this is that death and rebirth process right now while we're in Scorpio. And so for you, Taurus, in the spring, when the sun is in Taurus and you're planting your seeds of intention for the year ahead, I think that things that you started about a year and a half ago, you'll start seeing really come into... So it would be a year ago. Not this past May, but things you did then. So what were you doing? Think about this for a minute. In 2018, around your birthday time, what was it that you were trying to create? What were you trying to grow? So it says your seeds grow. And so I think stuff that you did then, you have a full moon coming up next week in your sign, so you should see kind of a conclusion of some stuff, and then things should start moving forward again. And so it could be also seeds that you planted maybe in the fall of 2018. You start to really see starting to pop when you get that full moon in Scorpio that happens during Taurus season in May. So think about that. Figure out what that is, because if you're assessing it and it's around a job situation, start thinking about what was going on back in 2018 in the spring. I think that in spring into the fall. I feel like that was a crucial point for you. You have the great spiritual teacher. Learn from your spiritual experiences. So spend a little time in nature if you can. What have you learned? Where have you been growing? Where has your mind been? Listening to your higher self as far as what do you believe? What is your belief system? Because you have a need to shift your perspective. And so there's this creative thinking outside the box, assessing a situation, being discerning, but also shifting your perspective. And so what have you learned? Be teachable, right? So Spirit's been teaching you lessons. Okay, so not necessarily lessons about spirituality, I just heard, but Spirit has been teaching you lessons, like things that have been happening in your life around this area of stability, this work-life balance. How are you bringing in? You have learned lessons over the past 18 months to 2 years, things that Spirit came in and said, see, this works. This doesn't work so much. Have you been teachable? Or are you like, so, no, I already set my path and I'm going this way and I'm not willing to shift? Learning from your experiences. Because the things that we learn, the experiences we have, those are our teachers. Those are the lessons. That's how we choose the next step in our path. And so when I have this card here that says shift your perception, something that you think was a bad, horrible, whatever, that was terrible, might have actually been a lesson on what you like and what you don't like, and in that way it's a good thing. Something that you thought was really, really great may not have been as great as you think, so take another look. Be willing to turn yourself upside down like the hangman. I just saw the hangman in my head, and so the hangman, you know, he's hanging upside down so he can see things from a different perspective, and he's still. He's very still. He's not making any movement. He's just looking at things from a different angle. You have dream and journey. That's that 12th house work of Pisces. Neptune is actually, I think, is it in Aries now, or is it still in Pisces? I think it's still in Pisces. So that's 12th house work. That is really, okay. Pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal. You might say, I never remember my dreams. When you go to bed at night, say, I am going to remember something in my dreams tonight that I need to know. And tell yourself that every night. And then when you wake up, do you remember a feeling, a fleeting image? Maybe you remember more of it. Maybe you remember the whole storyline. What do you remember? Write it down and start working off of that. And the more you practice doing that, the more information comes to you that way. And so setting your intention before you go to bed, before you fall asleep, asking, Spirit can't help unless you ask, asking for guidance through your dreams, saying, I really want to get some information here. Can you provide it to me while I'm sleeping? I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I'm changing my perspective. I want to see what it is that you know. Experience is the greatest teacher. If you're willing, your experiences becomes your source of wisdom. So on Wednesday, so Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the moon in Pisces, and this is the really digging deep. What do you fear? What are your fears? She has one bird cage there and all those fears she's trying to hang on to. One or two of your fears may be valid. Mostly they need to be let go of. And where are your boundaries? Are they boundaries that you imposed on yourself because you were afraid? Are they boundaries other people are imposing on you and you're trying to break free of? Are they boundaries that you need to impose on other people who don't seem to know where the heck the boundaries should be? Sometimes boundaries, and if you notice in both of these, she's in like a bubble. Sometimes boundaries are good, they're safe, they're protective. But it's time to make a choice. The moon in this position is about making a choice and a decision. And so it's not a choice. Oh gosh, how do I put this? If you're playing it safe, if you're playing it small, that is a choice. But it doesn't allow room for growth. You can't grow. Look how cramped up she is. You can't grow. So sometimes you have to burst the bubble and you have to make a choice and make a decision to move yourself forward. Oh, yeah. Spirit would like you to consider where in your life you need to break the bubble and set yourself free, because you have letting go and you have wild. And wild is going out there and taking a risk. See that red? That red is that living out loud, being willing to go for it. She's taking off on an emotional journey into the dark. She has a lantern to guide the way. It's like she snuck out of the castle here and then she climbed in a boat and sailed away. I'm not saying sneak out in the middle of the night. I mean, sometimes that's what we have to do anyway. But I think there's a situation where you need to let go of what you thought it was going to be a shift of perception. Your perception, be willing to say, hey, that really didn't work out like I thought it was. I've learned my lessons, the great teacher. It is time for me to chase my dreams, to let go and go after what makes me feel alive again. I want to feel alive. And Scorpio season is all about that death and that rebirth. And so if you're not willing to let something die that's not working so you can be reborn into a life that in the spring, it grows and it gets bigger. And so maybe this is the spring coming up of what are you letting go of now so that you can start to see results and changes in your life come spring in just 6 months. Are you willing to shift your perception? Are you willing to allow experience to be the teacher? Are you willing to pay attention to your dreams and go on this journey? It says dream and journey. So the journey of the heart. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Where would you like to head off to? A sacrifice, the death, needs to be made in order to chase your dreams down, the rebirth. The only thing that seems to be limiting you, Taurus, at any point in Taurus's life is always Taurus. It is really hard for me to believe that someone else is pinning you down. It feels very self-imposed. At 6:49 a.m. on Friday, that moon is going to move into Aries, and there is going to be this desire to push things forward, and a desire to win at all costs. I'm not sure the winning at cost is necessarily the way to go, but I see that happening a lot coming up this next couple of weeks. That full moon in Taurus that happens in the next 2 weeks until we get to that new moon in Sagittarius, there's a lot of planetary energy out there and opportunities for people to really make some major changes and drive themselves forward. And I don't want to say win at all costs is the way to go, but I think there's going to be a lot of that energy, and so be on guard for other people doing that. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's the way you have to go too. So what is the price of freedom? So where is your will? What do you need to focus on? What kind of action are you prepping to take to bust free, to let yourself go? Because something has to change here. It could be an attitude. It could be a job. It could be a friendship that has to go by the wayside. It could be, we have the marriage card here. It could be a relationship. It could be that what you're setting yourself free from is the negative energy surrounding a previous relationship where you allow yourself to set yourself free to explore a relationship that can get you here. This isn't all about breakups, and this is about what would make you feel stable and happy and joyful. And what do you need to change the way you're viewing your life in order to get there? Something has to be let go so that you can be wild and free and go have some fun. And you can have fun within the boundaries of a relationship. I'm not saying you can't. This feels like letting go of pain and hurt from childhood that has made you look at things differently. Like I'm so responsible to the situation. This long held belief about something that feels like it's tying you down. Blessings are showering in your life. The rainbow of blessings. That is like a really narrow path out, though, doesn't it? You're going to need focus. You're going to need willpower. You're going to need to learn from the lessons of the past. Scorpio season's so interesting. I'm going to get you a color card here. I hope I see you back here on Thursday. Really would like to. Leave me questions in the comment section below. Show up with questions that night. Look at this. This is beautiful. You have inhale a breath of life. Peach. Start living today. Not in the future when I get all my ducks in a row. Like right now, what makes you happy? This second, this minute. Start finding the joy in every second of the day. And then that's when you get this gold, the sense of abundance. You raise your vibration, you attract more abundance to you. But this is attract abundance. So wear gold. If you've got anything gold, wear it this week and remind yourself not that you are rich, not that you're financially wealthy. That's not necessarily abundance. Abundance is having it all. It's that community and that sense of being loved and loving other people and still having the freedom to go out and have some fun and be yourself. There's all kinds of things that mean abundance. And so I think if you don't do anything, oh, my face is itching. Okay, if you don't do anything else this week, sit down and write out, my life is abundant because. What makes you feel abundant? You rule the house of abundance. You rule the second house of self-esteem, self-value, self-worth, and yes, finances, but there's so much more to it. What makes you feel abundant? And let go of anything that's stopping you from attaining what actually makes you feel abundant. It's up to you. Okay? Ooh, that was heavy. All right. It's Scorpio season. They're all heavy. I will see you guys on Thursday, I hope. If not, I'll see you next week. You take care.